Hi, my name is Terry. For today's project, I am using the super adorable stamp set called Mermazing, and I am pairing it up with some great basics. So let's get started. Okay, so here's a closer look at the stamp set. I love how there's multiple mermaids on the stamp set and all of the accessories are just adorable. And it comes with the coordinating dies so you don't have to worry about fussy cutting. To start off my card, I am using a piece of alcohol-friendly cardstock in the color white that I trimmed down to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I stamped the images using an alcohol marker friendly ink in black. I like using Memento ink in the color Tuxedo Black because it's fast drying and it doesn't smear when I'm coloring with alcohol markers. I did have to stamp it a few times to make sure I got a good impression. Once I stamped out the images, I am now going in with some Copic markers. When coloring, I like to use at least 3 shades of one color to create an even blend. I always start out with the lightest shade first, then go in with my darker shade, and lastly blend in the midtone to blend everything together, making sure to always go back and forth with the lighter and darker shade to add more dimension. Okay, I am going to play some music here and speed up the coloring process a bit. If you're not interested in the coloring part, you can skip to the time noted below. But if you are, I hope you enjoy. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, I am back. I went ahead and used the coordinating dies and ran that through my die cutting machine. Now I'm going in with my white gel pen and I'm using that to add highlights and details throughout each of the images. Okay, so to create the base design of my card panel, I am going in with Modern Embossed Slimline die set. And I really like this set because it creates such a nice looking edge on your card panel. Here you could see that I'm pulling apart all of the pieces. I kept the two center pieces attached to create the opening windows on the second die, but you can take it apart if you prefer to do so. Here I went ahead and die cut the pieces that I will be using out of white cardstock. And I'm unsure if you can see it, but I tried to pull it up close to the camera so you could see the nice little edge that it gives. So the edges are pretty much embossed onto your cardstock and it looks so professional. I really just love how clean it looks. Okay, I kept the squares from the die cut pieces and I will create the background for each little window with it. For the first window background, I am using the awesome blending buddy with light colored green ink. I know many people hold their blending buddies differently. Sometimes I use a clip to help with blending, but other times I don't. It depends on my mood that day. So with each panel, I use 2 shades of ink, one darker and one lighter. I like using 2 shades because it helps create dimension in your scene. Just make sure to use a darker shade on only one side of the cardstock. Okay, so I am now going in with the second and third window background. I am using pink and blue shades for these two. I am doing the same thing as I did with the green background. So starting off with a lighter shade on one side of the cardstock, then going in with the second shade on the other side and making sure to blend in between. Okay, so now to add extra interest to the background scene. I like to add paint splatters to my blended background. So I'm using white paint that I added onto an acrylic block and watered it down with water. I then went in with my paintbrush and just kind of mixed that around before I did the splattering. Here you can see that I went in and just used my acrylic block to help with the splattering technique. Okay, so to create some additional interest for my card, I am using the Mermaid Cove die set and I ran that through my die cutting machine with gold foil paper. There are so many great pieces from this die that you can use so much of it to create or enhance your underwater scene. So I know that this is a lot of tiny pieces, but what you can do is place one of our rip and stick tape behind the gold foil sheets before you run it through your die cutting machine. This would save a lot of time later when you're ready to place everything onto your card panel. Okay, so now I'm going in with the skinny stripe background stamp. I'm stamping this onto a Slimline card panel with black colored ink. I first stamped it onto the bottom of my card panel, then I shifted it around and stamped it onto the other side. I had a few ink smudges here and there, but I used my sand eraser to remove it. Okay, so now it's time to adhere everything together. I popped the window frame onto the striped background using foam tape. Then using liquid adhesive, I placed each background window into place. I also added the mermaids on with liquid glue, and I went ahead and removed the rip and stick backing off of the gold foil die cut pieces and placed that throughout the card panel. Then going in with some embellishments, I added that onto the card front. The one that I am using is called Rainbow Glitter. I absolutely love these enamel dots. They're just so fun and colorful. Okay, so now using the largest rectangle die from the set, I am running that through my die cutting machine onto black cardstock. So this is going to create the perfect matted frame against our card panel. So I went ahead and adhered that using liquid adhesive. And here you can see that I went in with the sand eraser just to try to get off a little more of the smudged ink, and I think it came out pretty well. I then stamped out the cute little sentiment from the stamp set on with black ink. And to finish off the card, I adhered it to a side folding card base in white. And there you have it, the card is now complete. I love the shine of the foil paper against the colors of everything else on this card. I even added an extra gold mermaid to the inside of the card panel. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and please don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. Okay, until next time, I hope you have a wonderfully blessed day. Bye bye.